Alright, this is going to tell you a quick fix for getting rid of the oil problem in the KitchenAid mixer. A lot of people think that there's actually oil in here that's leaking out of a seal, but it's actually the grease inside of here. Is about 1.5 cups up in this top, and it breaks down with time, and the oil starts to come out of the grease, and that's what you're seeing is that oil that's coming out of the grease. There's not just oil in here. Quick fix, number one, be sure you unplug it. Alright, then you can, if you want to, you can just lay it on its right hand side and let it set for a couple of days, and the majority of the oil is going to come out. To go a little bit further than that, go ahead and take a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and tap this around this top of this beauty ring, and that'll pop off. It's just web shaped. There'll be a lot of oil in there. Turn it upside down, let it drain, and you can get some of it out with a paper towel or whatever. And then go ahead and lay it on its side and let it set for a few days. Lay it on its right hand side like this, because there's a cavity on that right hand side that collects a lot of oil, so that's going to be the quickest way to get it all out. You might have to let it set for a day or two, let it all drain out good. Just put it on a bunch of paper towels. If for some reason you don't get at least a bit of oil out of there, if it just doesn't seem to be coming out, something you can do to speed things up a little bit is to remove this screw in the rear cover, then rotate the head here to where this pin is facing you and knock it out with a punch and a hammer. Be careful, this is aluminum, don't hit it. Then you can rotate and pull this planetary gear off. There will be some oil in the bottom of it. I wouldn't clean that because there's not going to be much left in it. Most of it gets slung out when it breaks down, so don't clean the last little bit out of there. You need at least a little bit. There's also a fiber washer in there. Be careful not to damage that. Alright, then there are 5 screws around inside of here. There are 2 screws right here and 2 screws right here. If you loosen all of those up, then you can use the punch to wiggle this back and forth as you lift up a little bit and just barely crack this loose. There's a gasket that runs from about right here all the way around right here. You want to just barely crack that loose. If for some reason it doesn't come loose real easy, and it should, but if it doesn't, you can put screwdrivers in these little side holes and pry very gently. And then lay it on its side, and all that oil should drain out in a day or two. Then clean the beauty ring up. Let's see, you can after you've drained it, stand it back up, and you can press the motor back together. You might need to use the punch to turn the motor a little bit so that it goes back together easy. Put your screws back in. Tighten, starting using the center screws first, and work your way out just like you would on the head of a motor or something, because this is aluminum, you don't want to crack it. Then put your planetary gear back on, being careful of that fiber washer, and then you put the beauty ring on. You can just use a piece of wood and a hammer or something to tap it on so that you don't bend it up or anything. Then put your rear cover back on, and you should be done. If for some reason you want to pull this whole system apart and clean out all this old grease, maybe if you want to order some new grease, put new grease in there, or just get the grease out and clean out more of the oil, I have another video which actually shows this disassembled. It's out there, should be on YouTube also, so that you can look at that and see the insides and how to actually pull it apart.